What is going on? Welcome back. Third and 20 podcast, episode 77. I hope it's episode 77. I'm not going to lie, I didn't check. Um, we say it's every episode. It feels like we've been on episode 77 for 90,000 years now. Sorry that we missed last week. Just shit happens. We got my man, Ryan Steed here. Steed, what's going on, man?
Was popping. I feel like we've been in the 70s though for like a couple months, but
I feel like we've just been in the 70s all year. We can't get out of here.
yeah, it does be like that.
All right, let's just get right into it because we have a ton of bowl games to go through, an absolute ass ton. So let's just get started. Steed, said it before the episode. You get to pick the order. What game are we doing first?
All right, I'm going to start us off in the Final Four, and I'm going to take us to Arlington, Texas, and the battle between now number one ranked Alabama, like they never left, and the surprising number four Cincinnati, the first non-Power Five team to ever reach the playoff, with the committee trying to kick them out. They do all they need to do. They get the big win against Notre Dame on the road. They go undefeated. They win their championship title game. Now they got to face Nick Saban, 3:30 on January 1st. Who you picking?
Yeah, I'm taking Bama. Um, it's a 13.5 point spread for a reason. Bama finally showed up and showed like their real potential and their real ceiling that SEC championship against Georgia. They're the only team to really match physically with Georgia. Um, I think that Cincy's defense might be able to make this a game. They're probably going to need to force some turnovers, but I just think that I don't see how Cincinnati's going to be able to compete with Alabama's offense. I don't see Desmond Ritter in that Cincinnati offense putting up enough points to compete. So I think that Alabama wins this comfortably.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bama as well, just because, I think you would be a fool to not pick. Like, in what world would Alabama lose in the playoff to a non-Power 5 team? It's kind of crazy to think about. But I do like Cincinnati keep this close. I think they're a great team, and people just been trying to kick them out all year and downplay them. Uh, Listen, this is one of the best teams. Like, either way you look at it, competition wise or not, on both sides of the ball. They're top 20 in defense and top 20 in offense. And I think that stat line will carry over. You saw it last year when they played Georgia. It was a tight game, should have won that game. This year it's a little different because Bryce Young, Heisman winner, he's a monster. And you saw his capability in the SEC championship. I think Alabama will get this done. Cincinnati covering that 13.5, though. I mean, I'll look into it when the time comes. But, yeah, I'm going to roll with Bama.
Yeah, just last point for me. We saw what happened with Georgia. We're talking about a Georgia team that was getting pressure against everyone. No one could move the ball against them, and then they'd get into these third and longs, whoever Georgia was playing, and then the pass rush would be immense. Bama was the only team to really deal with that pass rush, and you saw how guys like now that Jamison Williams has really come alive in this offense. You give
Yeah.
him 3.5+ seconds to work against the defense and get deep on these routes and force these corners to cover him. He's going to make you pay.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, we saw like Bryce Young, you just give him time and you give him options and you give him running lanes. It becomes a real defensive nightmare. So like, since he's got these great corners, they have a good defense. I just, without being able to get a pass rush and a consistent pass rush, which I don't think they'll be able to do, I don't think that they're going to mitigate this Bama offense without creating a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. All right, next game. And I think this game right here might be the biggest, in my eyes, the biggest college football playoff game in terms of teams, just like their history meeting in the playoff. Michigan versus Georgia. Okay. Michigan, one of the winningest programs in college football history. Lately, not so. But Harbaugh finally did it. He did his deed. He finally got this team in the Final Four. They're playing for a chance at the chip. They've written off all their ghosts. They beat Ohio State. They won the Big Ten comfortably against Iowa. Jesus Christ, that game.
Mhm.
And Georgia, they slide back a little bit where it looked like Georgia was prevailing to be that number one team. People were saying, okay, well, like, yeah, their offense is a little questionable with the mailman, but their defense is so good. Well, the defense got shredded against Bryce Young and co. Now you get them against Michigan, different offense. Michigan runs from, Alabama, where they're not as vertical and they don't have that many playmakers, but they like to pound the rock and keep time in possession, kind of what Georgia is able to do too. So, who do you like in this grinder of a game?
I'm gonna take Georgia. Um, at the same time, I think if I were a gambling man, I kind of like Michigan in terms of the value. I don't think there's like much value betting on Georgia because I do think this is going to be a pretty close football game, and I think that Michigan does have a real shot to win this football game. Right, the spread right now is 8.5 points. I'm seeing for Georgia.
Oh my
Um,
god!
yeah, I think that this spread should be what that SEC championship spread was, -7. Um, just give me a touchdown for Georgia. I think it actually moved a little bit towards Georgia. I could see Michigan winning it. Um, kind of like in that Iowa game. I think for them to really have a good chance of winning it, they need one of these big plays to happen, whether that's a double pass or I think it was a pitch pass against Iowa that they did. Um, or Cade McNamara just being able to stretch the field vertically on a play action or something. They're going to need one of those gashing plays to beat Georgia. But when push comes to shove, I think it's going to be a grindy, close game. But if you're going to play Georgia's game, I think they're the more talented team, and Georgia's going to win it.
Yeah, I see that, and I think it does come because if Michigan, like the first quarter of that Big Ten, when they got that big play, that big touchdown pass, that kind of really set everything in stone. Because now you're up 14-3 against Iowa.
Yeah, against
Iowa,
fucking Iowa, who struggles to put up 3 points at the second half of the year. Like,
yeah, like they're not going to come back 11 down. There's no way unless like some freak things happen.
they need turnovers. And I mean, Michigan was just happy to just keep running the football.
I mean, like on the side of defense, both of these teams with Jordan Davis from Georgia, and then you got Eden Hutchinson with Michigan. I think defense is going to be the key here, and points are going to be hard to come by. The way I'm looking at it. Listen, I'm rolling the Wolves. I'm going
Okay.
Wolverines. I think it's kind of like it's just trending to be their year in Georgia. Like I think this is finally like the team's good. Don't get me wrong; they're a top four team in the nation, but it was and you can't really blame their schedule because they play it every year, I guess. But the talent wise, until the SEC championship, you saw it. They were able to get exposed. It Michigan's key here is to get a couple big plays early, and to make the mailman have to come back down because you saw what happened on the SEC championship. That's really where you want them is, hey, man, you're down 2 scores, go win us a football game. I think that he struggles to do that because, like, it's not a situation he's been put in all year.
Mhm.
And I don't think he has the capability or, like, he doesn't have that trait like a Bryce Young or someone like that who can carry his team back. But I think this will be a fun game. I'm going to roll with Michigan, kind of out of my hatred of Georgia, too.
Well,
Michigan.
see, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned because you're talking about Stetson Bennett being one of the reasons why you're not liking Georgia. I think one of the reasons I do like Georgia in this football game is the fact that in terms of quarterbacks, I trust, not in terms of the talent level or this, just a quarterback that, given the situation and given their teams, the guy that I trust more than the other. To me, I trust Stetson Bennett way more than I trust Cade McNamara in this football game. I think that if Georgia, unlike in that Bam game, is able to go back to their ways that they had shown every single game of the regular season, where they're able to get pressure on the quarterback with these blitzes. A lot of like simulated pressures, which means like it looks like they're blitzing like 8 people when in reality they're only bringing 4 or 5. It's going to be interesting to see how Michigan can handle that. I think that Michigan's offensive line will be able to. You're talking about one of like the better offensive line college football teams in like just just in the nation, right? Every year they have a good offensive line, but I just don't trust Cade McNamara to be able to go out there and make enough plays and be good enough with the football to win this football game. Maybe Michigan's able to run all over Georgia and like they have done all these weeks past, okay, then yeah, you'll win the football game. But I just don't think Georgia's the team that's going to get bullied like that. And if you're going to try to pound the rock against them, I think you're going to get punished.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't understand why it's 8.5. Like I can see Georgia being favored at like 4.5, maybe a field goal or something like that.
I just think the problem is that Georgia absolutely kicking the shit out of Michigan is in the range of outcomes. Like you're
I
telling
don't
me
know.
you're
I
going to
think it
be
was
really shocked if Georgia goes out there and wins this game by 20 points.
against Michigan. Yeah, I'd be a little shocked.
It's just like if Georgia is able to, if they're the team that goes out there and makes a couple of big plays and they get up early, and all of a sudden Michigan, whether they actually will or not, and I would argue they shouldn't, but let's just say they go down an early 14-3, and it's midway or towards the end of the second quarter. All of a sudden, you feel like you start having to throw the ball to get back in the game, or maybe it's a little bit later in the game than that. Maybe it's like it's somewhere in the third quarter. Um, if you get into one of those scenarios, then I think that Georgia is like that's exactly what they want, and they'll just destroy in that scenario.
Yeah, I think the deciding factor in this game is the big play on defense. Who comes up with that huge turnover?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's one of the major reasons why Georgia lost against Bama is that the turnovers and honestly just the missed opportunities as well. Brock Bowers, he could have had 5 touchdowns that game,
Yeah,
right? Like,
insane.
between yeah, and obviously Stetson Bennett threw a couple of picks, and I'm pretty sure they had a couple of like fourth downs that they didn't convert on. But yeah, I'm still picking Georgia. I think that the Georgia Bama final is in the cards. So I guess really quickly, um, we're gonna pick the champ then. So your college football championship would then be Alabama against Michigan. Who are you picking there?
I'm taking Michigan. Give me the Wolves to go all the way.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I just think it's like kind of like a weird year, and like a storybook year ending for Michigan, a little hardball. I mean, we said it a while ago when Michigan was kind of like, I think they were like 6-0, 7-0. They were just kind of under the radar. Everybody was still talking about Ohio State, maybe a little Iowa action back then. And Michigan kind of just played the underdog card, and I think it's going to trend that way.
Um, I think I'm just gonna pick UGA. I know that's such a boring pick, but I think this football team is just really good. Yeah, I'm not gonna overlook an entire season's body of work and the fact that that Bama game was closer than the score sheet said it was, and all of a sudden say that this team is now not still the number one team in the nation, and
Yeah.
what I believe is the most likely team to win the college football playoff. All right, let's go into the other bowls. What do we got next?
All right. So we're going to just jump into the New Year's Six Bowls. Let me find the first one. Okay. We got the Peach Bowl. And this one is, it's a good matchup. Michigan State versus Pittsburgh. But Michigan State's running back, what's his name?
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he's sitting out,
Yeah.
and Pickett is sitting out of Pittsburgh.
Is he? I thought he was undecided. Are you sure about that?
I thought I saw where he's not playing.
Damn it. Because see, this is why the fucking bowl games suck. Just increase the college football playoff. This would have been an awesome matchup. This would have
Yeah,
been so fun. Um,
yeah,
I don't
he
know who the
won't
fuck
play.
to take because it's like if Kenny Pickett's playing, I'm taking Pittsburgh because this Michigan State pass defense blows, and I think that Pittsburgh would just run up the score. They just go ballistic. They go crazy. Um, without Kenny Pickett, I have no idea.
He is. I don't know who their backup is. I don't know if he's like just as good, or
No
like
shot.
like I don't know if he's like serviceable or not. Like
Michigan State's a 3-point favorite right now.
yeah, and that's solely because Kenny Pickett ain't playing. For my pick, dude, I'm just gonna go Michigan State just because like Pittsburgh's whole thing is like Kenny Pickett just really tore it up this year. He's a Heisman finalist. I think he finished third. I think Hutchinson finished second. But I can't pick the team that I don't know anything about your quarterback. Like Michigan State quarterback, at least I know, like, he's been there the whole season and got this team in the top 10 and to a New Year's Six bowl. I know Kenneth No Walker sucks, but I'm sure they have a couple more backs. Like let's go out there and make a play. Pittsburgh is just it's too unknown for me.
Man, I don't know who to take here. I'm not gonna lie. I was initially gonna take Pittsburgh. I think I'm still gonna take Pittsburgh. Um, I have no idea. That's
Yeah,
such a weird game. I hate these fucking opt outs.
yeah, it sucks.
But I know Pittsburgh usually has a pretty damn good D line. Kind of inconsistent this year, but I think they showed up some games, like especially against, I watched that Georgia Tech game a while back, and they basically scored. That defensive line was going crazy, forcing turnovers and whatnot. Um, I think they'll be able to get some pressure, I guess, against Michigan State, but weird game.
Hmm. Totally.
The other thing too, though, is I could be completely wrong in saying this, but it almost feels like Pittsburgh has a little bit more to play for, whereas I feel like Michigan State, it's like, hey, season's over. We lost to Michigan and whatnot, and got
They beat
rocked
Michigan.
by Ohio State. Oh yeah, they beat no, but they got rocked by Ohio State and then lost to Purdue. Um, yeah, I don't know. Weird fucking game.
I don't know. If anything, I think Pittsburgh season. I mean, you kind of did what you wanted to do. You won the ACC championship. Like if they had their quarterback there, I mean, I'm easily taking Pitt, but like it's just.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, we're heading down to the Camping World Stadium in Orlando. We got the Citrus Bowl. We got number 15 Iowa versus number 22 Kentucky.
I'm going Kentucky here.
I'm with you on this, and I will keep this one short, and this is why. Iowa sucks. Okay, like at the end of the day, like I know these are not two of the flashier offense, but I trust Kentucky's offense to move the ball little more than Iowa. Iowa, I don't think they scored a touchdown in the last 4 games I've watched them play in. I just don't. I don't. They don't move the ball. Like so, they love to punt. So at the end of the day, just give me Kentucky.
Yeah, if you're
I
a
mean,
big fan of punts, this might be the game to tune into. I think to add insult to injury, that Iowa running back Goodson is he's good. Um, he's opted out as well. So
great.
yeah, that hurts you. That hurts you as an Iowa fan.
Yeah, it's just I don't see them like scoring. That's the thing.
It's like the classic Iowa thing. Are they going to get those turnovers or not? I don't think so. I think that the book is out on Iowa on how to beat them. If you just play field position, play conservative, don't make the stupid mistakes on offense, you can beat this Iowa team.
Oh yeah, easily. All right. Next bowl. This is a good game. We got the Fiesta Bowl. Number 5 Notre Dame versus Gundy's number 9 ranked Oklahoma State.
Yeah, this is an awesome game. This is an awesome bowl game.
I haven't heard of opt outs. I know Brian Kelly's not there, but it seems like their new coach is like everybody's like very excited about him. Uh,
Yeah.
and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a good team. I mean, like say what you will, Cincinnati fumbles the bag there, or Michigan fumbled the bag against Iowa. Notre Dame would have been in the playoff, and that would have been crazy to see. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, great season. An inch away from winning the Big Ten,
Mhm.
uh, Big 12, like literally an inch. I mean, that was like some Friday Night Lights shit right there. Um,
Well, speaking of opt outs, I think that Kyron Williams, that Notre Dame running back, is not playing. I'm pretty sure
okay.
he's definitely opted out. They're really good safety Hamilton. He's injured regardless, but he is also opted out.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick. So.
I think those are the only two. Those are the two I can name off the top of my head. I think those are the only two confirmed right now.
Yeah, I even with them playing, I still would have went Oklahoma State here. I
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Gundy. I like Gundy. The reason why Oklahoma State lost to Baylor, and they had a great second half comeback and should have won the game, But the reason why is because their quarterback threw 5 picks. Like I think he comes back, he neutralizes that in this bowl game. You know, you can beat Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame's no one like crazy, especially on offensive side of the ball. I think Oklahoma State has the better offensive power. Oklahoma State has had, maybe besides Baylor, but in the Big 12 they were the best defense. I think Oklahoma State's just a play here.
Yeah, well, their defensive coordinator just got hired by Ohio State, right? Um, Oklahoma State. I'm pretty sure he did. Oklahoma State's scheme was fantastic this year. Like you said, they have a very good defense. If I'm just looking at this game by who's winning each side of the ball, I think there's an argument that Oklahoma State is the better offense and the better maybe not the better defense, but I think that Oklahoma State and Notre Dame's defenses are pretty comparable. We saw what happened with Notre Dame went up against an elite level defense in that Cincinnati game, and they struggled. So I think that it's going to be a similar story and game script to that Cincinnati game here.
Yeah, I like that.
So we're
So
both
we're
taking the dog there.
yeah. I mean, give us the Cowboys. Or, is that what they are? Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Cowboys.
All right. Next game. I love this game. Rose Bowl. Ohio State versus Utah.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
Because like at the end of the day, the Rose Bowl is like, besides the playoff, I think this is like one of the more like premium bowls. Like, right, like if you're playing the Rose Bowl, I'm pretty sure, like I might be wrong, but players are not going to check out for this because it's just so much history to it. And this
Well,
is
speaking
why,
of which, yeah, not yeah, I think it was Garrett Wilson and Olave have checked out. They are not playing. But then again, it's Ohio State. They probably have 9 receivers
yeah,
behind them
no,
that are
I mean,
nasty.
yeah, they just got a track team over there. Doesn't matter. But again, dude, Utah has been like easily one of the hottest teams in the college football. This is why I really want the playoff, because if Utah would have got in, if there's 12 teams, who the hell wants to play Utah right now? Like, you don't want to play fucking Utah. Like, you look at it and they're like ranked number 11. You're like, okay, but they come into your house and just bully you. I'm gonna ride with the underdog, dude. I think Utah is just a pretty damn good team. They're clicking on all cylinders. Ohio State, like it seemed like they figured out shit, and then they get blown out against Michigan. I think Utah's offense kind of falls in the hands what Ohio State defense can't defend. If they're just gonna like bully you up front and run the ball, then I don't think Ohio State's gonna be able to stop that.
Yeah, I this is a tough pick for me because I'm also leaning Utah, but it's still Ohio State. And Ohio State is still nasty. And I'm just not sure that Utah is as good as a Michigan. I understand that Oregon beat Ohio State and then Utah kicked the shit out of Oregon twice,
Yeah.
but that fucking transitive property isn't a thing in football. You have good matchups, you have bad matchups. um, before the pod, I was gonna take Utah. I think I'm gonna switch it up and take Ohio State.
Okay.
I think that I'm going Ohio State. Ohio State's just too good, man. They have too much talent. I think that Utah just hasn't seen the level of team of an Ohio State. I think that their pass defense is going to get a little bit exposed. And
Okay.
I mean, it's like you said though. I think that Utah will control the game on the ground. And can Ohio State finally figure out how to stop the run? Who fucking knows? I wouldn't be surprised if they got bullied all day here.
Yeah. I mean, but the good thing about Ohio State, at the end of the day, you got CJ Stroud in your back pocket. So,
Yeah. It's just I feel like if you're Ohio State, eventually you got to figure out how to stop the run. It's like what? This is like the 13th fucking game, 14th goddamn game. Like, what Utah's going to do? They are going to show up and pound the rock. You know the game plan before the game is played. Right? You got plenty of games of film. Just show up and don't get your ass kicked up front and you can win this game.
oh yeah, 100%. All right. Moving on to the next game, this last New Year's Six Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. Good game. Number 7 Baylor versus number 8 Ole Miss.
This is pick 'em right now. The spread.
Is
This
Matt Corral playing?
uh well, that's the funny thing because I think he is. He just gave a press conference the other day where everyone was expecting him to opt out, and he's like, "Nah, I'm fucking here. I'm playing, baby. Let's ride." So I
Okay,
think
good.
Matt Corral is playing.
Okay, good. All right, then that's an easy pick for me. I'll ride with Ole Miss.
I am as well. I'll take Ole Miss.
I
I
love this
do you
Baylor
think
team.
Baylor's getting a little slept on here though?
No, Baylor's been slept on all year. Even in that Big 12 championship game, people were taking Oklahoma State and like not really giving Baylor a shot just because their backup was in. The first half, he played amazing. Now, second half was a different story. But if they scored enough to hold on to the lead, their defense is good, man. It's not like they're a shutdown defense, but they create turnovers. And the thing, they usually when they create these turnovers, their offense is able to put points on the board afterwards. I mean, you look at all those points they scored in the Big 12 championship against OSU. They scored it off those picks. So I
Yeah, and
mean,
Tyquan Thornton for Baylor is an absolute monster.
yeah.
He's good. I'm
But
not sure if he's opted out or not. Hopefully not if you're a Baylor fan.
if that's if that's Baylor's bailout, I don't think you can really trust that if especially if Matt Corral's playing for Ole Miss because the dude is not really going to turn over the ball, right? That's
See, it's just so funny the progression of Matt Corral because last year the story was which Matt Corral are you going to get? Are you going to get the Matt Corral that's nasty, or are you going to get the one that throws 5 picks in a game and loses you the football game, like that
yeah.
2 years ago against Arkansas? Now it's like, oh well, Matt Corral isn't going to turn the ball over. It's just hilarious how not. I mean, it's cool to see how far along he's come in that regard.
And with him not turning over the ball, like you saw it, like if he's just playing good and like he's capable of, Ole Miss 10-2, like playing the Sugar Bowl, playing New Year's Six, and maybe if a couple other things go their way, they could have got a chance at the playoff. They played better Bama, but I still think this is a good game. Ole Miss is like it seems like the defense showed up really well the latter part of the year. Matt Corral's playing Lane Kiffin. I think this would be for Lane Kiffin in his second year to win a New Year's Six bowl would be like tremendous for the
Mhm.
program. So I think they're just gonna be hungry too.
I mean,
You know?
dude, you look at I think it was the 2016 Alabama team, like all of these Nick Saban assistants, right? Because that Michigan State head coach, he was on that squad. Lane Kiffin. Um, I mean, there's a couple other around college football. It's like they are all having success right now.
Mhm.
It's just funny, right? Because I feel like usually when a lot of guys try to do that, I mean, you just look at the NFL with the whole like the Belichick hiring of assistants, it's gone horribly, like
Oh yeah,
90% of them. Whereas right now, the Nick Saban understudies are destroying college football. They're all having success.
yeah. That'll be a fun game though. The New Year's Six bowl games are good. It just kind of sucks that some of them are sitting out.
Yeah, that Pittsburgh Michigan State game, I with no opt outs, that is one of the more fun bowl games. Like
Yeah.
awesome level bowl game. But all right, what's the next one we're getting into?
All right. Well, that's like of the big games. So I'm gonna just throw us into I think another pretty big game that's being played, the Alamo Bowl. You got number 14 Oregon versus number 16 Oklahoma here, ranked matchup in this bowl game. Oregon, their Achilles heel is apparently Utah. They just can't thing with them. Oklahoma, no Lincoln Riley. Big news with him going to USC. He's gone. I think they got Venables as their head coach now, but like again, it's going to be an interim here. Oklahoma is a team that everybody saw to finish Final Four. They let down so much this year. The benching of Rattler, of him being the Heisman favorite, to get him not even starting. But Oregon, on the other hand, too, it's been a letdown where the Pac-12 is wide open and can't beat Utah, especially
Dude,
after
that's
you
just
beat
crazy.
Ohio
You go
State.
out, you beat Ohio State, and Utah is the team that kicks the shit out of you twice and keeps you out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the Pac-12 for you. Dude, I don't know who the hell to take in this game.
I'll tell you who I'm taking. I'm taking Oklahoma. I just think Oklahoma has the better team. Is Thibodeau injured, not playing, whatever? There's no
Oh, he's
shot he's
definitely
playing, right?
playing.
Yeah.
There's no
So
fine.
that's a big get for Oklahoma. I mean, I think that Oklahoma's offense is just good and well rounded. Like I understand no Lincoln Riley's kind of annoying, but the one thing that I always thought was underrated about this Oklahoma team was the fact that they have a very underrated running attack. You know, they have other issues, and I think that part of the reason why they were a letdown this season is purely because of consistency.
Mm.
Um, they just weren't able to keep that high level of execution the entire season. But in this game, I think that their running attack should be the difference. And if Caleb Williams is playing, like I think I'm pretty sure he is, um, he's going to give them that added benefit and upside that I think will put them over the top and beat Oregon.
Yeah, and that's why I'm on Oklahoma too. Just because of Caleb Williams. You know, bowl games are like, for the most part, they're like expedition matches. You know, like it sometimes.
Expedition matches, exhibition, you mean?
Yeah, expedition. But just I think he's the best playmaker on the field. They don't have Thibodeau. He's not gonna fucking. I'm just not betting on Oregon. I don't like
Yeah, I'm not
Oregon.
either.
Like I like Oregon's always just so overrated. They suck. They're not good. We'll get pounced by Utah again, Ducks.
Tim, tell us how you really feel.
But I'm just done with them. I'll bet Oklahoma. And
All right, what's the next bowl game?
all right, so I'm taking you down to Jacksonville, Florida, where we got the Gator Bowl. Another ranked matchup here. Number 17 Wake Forest versus number 25 Texas A&M, the Aggies.
This is a fun matchup. I like this
It
matchup a
is.
lot.
Wake Forest really fumbling the bag in the ACC championship with the 20 picks they threw from the quarterback to Texas A&M, where it's been a season of high and lows. Really, you think about it. You beat Bama, you start playing good again, but you lose to teams like LSU. What are you doing losing to LSU? Like it's just weird, inconsistent quarterback play all season from the Aggies. But again, Wake Forest defense is pretty much non-existent, so you might be able to score here. I mean, who you taking? I think this is a coin flip.
See, I was leaning Texas A&M at first, but I feel like the more I think about it, the more I want to take Wake Forest. Um, I just feel like right now, not that this Texas A&M squad is bad, it's just I feel like they're almost in a transition year to a certain extent. You know, they got a ton of good recruits again this season. They got a young football team. I think that like next year we're going to see Texas A&M really take that step. But as of right now, I don't know though because like I think the one thing with Wake Forest in this matchup against Texas A&M is that Texas A&M has that level of physicality that Wake Forest just hasn't seen. And I'm thinking back to a game like Louisville, right? Where like Louisville is able to kind of almost beat Wake Forest. Like I feel like Texas A&M would kick the shit out of Louisville.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going back to Texas A&M. That's who I had before the pod. I was thinking about switching it up. I'm going to stick with Texas A&M.
Yeah, I was leaning Aggies here too. It's just at the end of the day, Wake Forest tremendous season. He came up a little short, but give me Jimbo Fisher in these games. Just and like they got the better talent. Like I'm just gonna take that at the end of the day.
All right, where are we going next?
All right, I'm trying to hit all the big bowl games with like big name. Okay, we're going to Outback Bowl. Number 21 Arkansas versus Penn State.
I'm going Penn State here.
Okay, a little upset.
Is Penn State really not favored?
Well, I mean, I just figured they're not.
Let me see. Let me find this thing. Hey, oh no, Penn State's a 2.5 point favorite. Well, one of the big things, no Traylon Burks. So, not that that necessarily kills you. Arkansas, their quarterback is still very good. He's had a great season. You gotta love Sam Pittman, their Arkansas head coach, aggressive guy. What a quick turnaround for this Arkansas program.
Oh yeah.
No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking Arkansas. Fuck Penn State, man. Because I'm thinking back the fact I think that Penn State, their coach Franklin, I think he's overrated to be honest.
James Franklin. I'm pretty sure they signed him longer. Yeah, I was this pick was easier for me. I'm going Arkansas. I get plus money taking Arkansas as well. Like I just Penn State does nothing for me. They're just like,
They have a
yeah,
good defense.
they have good defense, but like Arkansas can play with anyone. They play with the best of the best. I mean,
No,
they got
fuck it. I'm going back to Penn State. You convinced me. Sorry.
okay.
I'm back.
I'm just
Because
not picking a team that lost to Illinois in 9 overtimes.
yeah, yeah, true. See, that's the problem. Is like what Penn State you're going to get. I'm just thinking that I get an NFL level defense. I know that Penn State had one of their linebackers opt out. I wouldn't be surprised if they had more people opt out. But at the same time, like that's just what this team does. They play defense, and I think that if they're able to mitigate Arkansas without a Traylon Burks, they can easily win this game.
Yeah.
Um, I like once again, this is another pick. I think, like you said, if I'm a gambling man, Arkansas at plus money is nice. Really feels like Arkansas shouldn't be. This should be like a 1 point spread, pick 'em kind of a game to me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, where are we going next?
All right. This is just a weird game. The Las Vegas Bowl. We got Wisconsin versus Arizona State.
Yeah, this is a weird game. I know exactly because me and you, we like Arizona State. We like this Arizona State team. We like their coaching staff, but I think that this is just a bad matchup for them against Wisconsin. And that's why I'm going to be picking Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin's a 7 point favorite here. And the big reason is Utah exposed this Arizona State weakness. If you're one of these grindy, methodical football teams that just pounds the rock, just don't turn the ball over and you could win. Now, that's the problem is that with Graham Mertz playing, at least, like Wisconsin was turning the ball over left, right, and fucking center this year.
Yeah.
But they've hit a new groove. They found Braylon Allen, their running back, who's an absolute stud, is like a 18-year-old. I think that they're going to rely on this run game and control the game against Arizona State. And that defense for Wisconsin is still very good. So I think that Wisconsin has a very good matchup here and will win the game.
Okay. I'm rolling with the Sun Devils. Give me Arizona State. And I think Herm Edwards at the end of the day, all the NFL experience and him knowing that Wisconsin is going to try to bully him, you give him a couple weeks to prepare for this game. I'm sure he wants to win this game. It's a big game for him. Uh, and then you got Jaden Daniels. In games like this, in your bowl games, I think sometimes like the more talented player gets to really showcase what he is because it's more relaxed feeling like, hey man, it's last game of the year, it's for a bowl, whatever. And I think you're going to see his talents be put on display. I'm going to ride with Arizona State.
All right. Where are we going next?
All right. Really want to do it. I'm just going to start going off the games that are even starting today. Because like those are like really like the big games. We got today starting very soon actually. App State versus Western Kentucky.
Oh, I gotta find this. All right, so yeah, this is a fun matchup. I think that I was leaning App State at first, but I'm gonna go with Western Kentucky.
Okay.
The Hilltoppers. There was a reason. Oh, I think it's because Western Kentucky has a nasty pass offense. I'm pretty sure they're one of these teams that just like only passes the ball.
Yeah, no, they're air raid only. Their quarterback put up Joe Burrow numbers this year.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure App State was like a team. I mean, they're a good program, App State. But one of the big like it's funny because App State's like that rushing offense, right? They're a team that, at least from what I remember, and I'm pretty sure they still are. They're that team that they've had a couple of NFL running backs and whatnot. They're a team that wants to pound the rock. The Hilltoppers are a team that wants to throw the ball a shit ton. Um, App State probably has the better defense, but I just don't think that their pass defense is anything spectacular. So I think that the Hilltoppers have, even though they're going to be an underdog, I'm taking them.
Okay. I'm just going to ride with App State. I don't know much on Western Kentucky besides their pass offense, but I'm pretty sure App State has a pretty good pass defense. So one of those two will give. And App State's been in this situation before. Just give it to me. Next bowl, we got the Celebration Bowl versus Jackson State versus South Carolina State.
Um, Yeah,
I'll
I'm
tell
going Jackson State here.
you, yeah, I'm just gonna take Dion's team. Like, screw it.
Well, I think that Jackson State is a multiple score favorite. They've only lost like one or two games. I just think that they're easily the better team in this one. I remember
Yeah.
looking it up yesterday. I didn't write any stats down, but I am pretty sure they're just the better team. So most of the time, Jackson State's going to win this one. So that's why I'm taking them.
Okay. Next bowl we got New Mexico Bowl, Fresno State versus UTEP. UTEP was ranked for a good portion of the year. They were undefeated for a good portion of the year. Fresno State, we bet on them a couple times. They're a good program over there. I'm just gonna take Fresno State.
Yes, I am as well. It's interesting. There was a little bit of quarterback things going on there because Jake Hayner, their quarterback, a guy that might be getting some NFL looks. He was apparently going to hit the transfer portal, but for whatever reason, they convinced him to stay, and he's staying at Fresno. It looks like so. With him playing, I think that they have a good chance to win, and can honestly beat a lot of teams in college football. So yeah, I'm going to take Fresno here.
Yeah. Um, Independence Bowl, you got number 13 BYU versus UAB. BYU finished season 10-2. After the departure of Zach Wilson, I think they really overperformed this year. UAB, I don't know. I think they got a bad end of the straw right here because I think BYU's just gonna blow them out.
Oh, you think so? I'm actually going to be taking UAB.
Oh,
Well, so this is interesting
wait,
because what's up?
taking the Blazers?
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, right? UAB is the first time they've missed the Conference USA title game since 2017. So I feel like this team is out here to prove something to that program, the coaches and everything that they're not the bad UAB team and they're not, right? You look at it's just unfortunate. And the other thing too is that I think that, I'm pretty sure Allegier, that really good BYU running back, is going to be opting out. I think there might be a couple other opt outs for BYU as well. I just think that UAB is being really slept on in this football game, and I'm going to take them to win it. Fuck it.
Okay, I like that. Going gets the grain. Next bowl, Linden Tree Bowl. You got
Yeah,
Eastern Michigan versus Liberty.
I'm taking Liberty. This is a one for me where it's like you get a Malik Willis that has something to prove. Coming into the season, he was a consensus like top 2 or 3 quarterback. He had some rough games. And he's raw. He needs to develop. This is a big game for Malik Willis if he's coming out into the draft this year to final game. Show me something. Show me
Yeah.
some really good tape. Show me that you've developed from those games earlier in the season, right? This could be a big one for him. It's a bowl game. I'm taking Liberty because you have a Malik Willis that's something to prove. He's easily the best player on the field.
Yeah, I was kind of tossed up, but that convinced me right there. Just leave it all on the field, and a player of his stature, if he does that, Liberty should be able to roll against Eastern Michigan. Probably. Oh
Whoa,
God.
you're all right.
Yeah, a little coughed.
A little COVID
Okay.
action going on over there.
That'd be the Omicron time. Next game, tremendous game. I bet on this game. It's the only game I placed personally today. LA Bowl, Oregon State versus Utah State. Who you taking? 7:30 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California.
Well, I was gonna take Oregon State, but Utah State really
Yeah,
kicked the shit out of me last week when I
yeah,
bet against them.
yeah. That's why I'm betting on Utah State this game, dude. Like,
I'm going with you because I feel like you're the kind of guy that would get this game right. So I'm taking Utah State. Why are you taking Utah State?
I, goddamn COVID. But this is why Utah State surprised the hell out of me against San Diego State. I did not see that coming at all. So
I didn't
maybe
either.
and they've been trending when they've been playing well. Oregon State, this game was played in wherever the Beavers play at in Oregon. They're playing in their home stadium. I'd take Oregon State minus 21. This team sucks ass on the road. And now you got to go in a neutral site. I'm not putting my faith in it. I'm going to take Utah State, who really turned some heads. They're underdog this week, too. Underdogs in bowl season, for the most part, doesn't fucking matter. if you're a single like digit spread as a dog, more time than not, I think it's like 72% or something crazy that the dog like will win. I don't know why. I read it. I don't know how true it is. Just a guy, but he said
I'm
it's
for it.
a
I
number.
fucking love the dogs money line, baby. Um, yeah,
But
Utah
yeah,
State is a 7-point underdog in this game. Over under 67.5 points, by the way.
the over unders are going to be crazy in these bowls. Yeah, so we're both on Utah State. That's pretty cool. I think that'd be a huge upset and just really cap off like their good season. Next bowl though tonight is the New Orleans Bowl. We got the Raging Cajun of Louisiana Lafayette taking on the Thundering Herd of We Are Marshall.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good football game, and it's kind of two somewhat similar programs, right? Just two teams that have good defense, good special teams, well coached. I'm gonna go with Louisiana Lafayette, though. I think that they're just the more talented group.
Yeah, I am too. They just been solid all year. They beat App State. I'm just taking them, even though their coach isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
this wouldn't surprise me at all if Marshall won, though. Like
yeah,
Marshall plus 160, like you're saying with these dogs, like Marshall plus 160 could be a nice little play if you're just it's good value, right? It's good value. I really feel like this should only be like a 3-point spread. So getting that extra point, a decent Marshall team, that's fine. Yeah, I could see Marshall losing this game by 2 scores, but I think more times than not in the range of outcomes, this is a pretty damn close football game. And it's just that one big play. Like, who's going to come up with the big play, right? Who's going to come up with that play to win the game?
yeah, I agree. Next one, dude, like this bowl sucks. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, Tulsa versus Old Dominion.
Who you
Old Dominion has a football team. I'm keeping this short for my part. I'm riding with Tulsa. I didn't even know Old Dominion had a football team. I don't even know where Old Dominion is. I'm just taking Tulsa. Didn't Tulsa, or was it Tulane? One of them played Notre Dame close. I'm taking Tulsa. Like,
Yeah, there was a reason I was going to take Old Dominion. Um, I forget what that reason is exactly. I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of they've been playing well recently. From what I remember, I could be completely wrong and confusing them with a different team, but I think they started like 0-4 and then played well the rest of the stretch.
yeah, probably because they realize you're not playing basketball. You're playing football. You actually have to win games to get in a
Hold
bowl.
on, hold on. I'm gonna look up this Old Dominion schedule because I don't want to get this wrong. Old Dominion schedule. Yeah, the Monarchs. This is a 6-6 against a 6-6 team. Um,
This is good football.
Okay, so they started off with they got crushed by Wake Forest. They beat the shit out of Hampton. I don't know. You're talking about you didn't know who had a football team. I didn't know Hampton had a football team.
I
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
So then they had this rough stretch here where they lose against Liberty. They get crushed. They lose to Buffalo by 1, lose to UTEP by 8, Marshall by 7, get rocked by Western Kentucky. But then they figure it out and they beat La Tech by 3. They beat FIU. They beat Florida Atlantic. They beat Middle Tennessee. And then they kind of do really well against Charlotte. They come in here winning 5 straight, I think. That's why I'm taking Old Dominion. They're winning 5 straight. I think that they just kind of turned the corner.
Wow, they went from 1-5 to making a bowl.
Yeah,
One,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, dude, good for them. I think that they're up for this one.
no, screw them. I'm taking Tulsa. I, I'm not betting on.
No, screw them.
I didn't even know they had a football program. Like, all right, that's the only game on Monday too, by the way. So tune in. Um, Tuesday, we kick it off with one of my favorite bowl games, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We got Kent State versus Wyoming playing on that blue turf in Boise.
I'm taking Wyoming.
Taking
I
Wyoming.
I feel like this is just gonna kind of be like a Wyoming home game. Um, you don't gotta try. To be honest, I have no idea where Kent State is, but I know that Wyoming's like I just think this is like a favorable matchup for them.
Yeah, it does seem like Kent State could score though. I'm gonna go against the grain. Give me Kent State.
Where is Kent State? They're in the MAC. Ohio. See, that's the thing. You're a MAC team. You got to go. Dude, they are kind of nice. They just got rocked by Northern Illinois. But they got my boy. This is the team with the engineer, right? Kent State, their quarterback.
I think.
Hold on, let me get the I'm sorry. I'm not a Mac connoisseur. Let me see. Yeah, Dustin Crum.
Oh, they got Crum. Yeah,
Yeah, they
definitely.
got Victor Crum. Dude,
Yeah,
he's the engineer, Dustin Crum. He's pretty nice actually as a quarterback. He's pretty good.
yeah.
Dude, you know what? I was taking this because I'm feeling like I was getting a Wyoming home game almost. You know, you're playing in state, whereas Kent State, you're a MAC team and you got to go all the way to fucking Wyoming. But you got the engineer though.
Yeah, you do. You got Crum. I'm just going Kent State.
Fuck it. I'm going Kent State too. We're out here.
Nice.
I'm not going against my boy Dustin Crum. Dustin Crum is the truth.
Next bowl we got is the Frisco Bowl, San Diego State versus UTSA.
Yeah, so this is one where normally I would pick UTSA, especially because San Diego State just got their shit rocked against Utah. But the thing is that this UTSA running back, Sincere McCormick, is opted out and is going to the draft. Sincere McCormick is a legit player. This is a guy that for the past 2 years has put up like 1,500 yards each year.
Nice.
Um, without UTSA, the Roadrunners are a good fucking program. They did really well this year. But I'm gonna go with San Diego State.
Yeah. I'm going UTSA.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I. This is just one of the bowl games. It's like you see the ranked team. San Diego State should be the play, but UTSA's had a really good story this season. I'm just gonna take them.
All right, let's ride.
All right, next bowl, the Armed Forces Bowl, Missouri versus Army. Army, by the way, just losing to Navy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because you bet on Navy. I thought that Navy was kind of we didn't get to record the pod, but I agree with you because Navy was a team that they started off the season rough, but they played a lot better than their record had indicated. You know what? They were like 3-8, 4-8, or something. They
Hmm.
were a better team than that. They gave some good football teams some troubles. They just weren't on the winning end.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna be going with Mizzou though. I'm gonna be going with Mizzou.
yeah, I am too.
And
Um,
I'm just hoping because, dude,
not good.
Army's gonna go out there and they're gonna try to pound the rock and beat you physically. Like, you know what the game plan is. You just got to get up and execute if you're Mizzou.
Yeah, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for the triple option. Like they should know what's coming. Yeah, and plus it's just a SEC team. So, Frisco Football Classic. What the fuck is that? Okay, Miami of Ohio versus North Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with North Texas here. North Texas,
The
this
Mean Green.
is another team that's usually a pretty good program. The Mean Green. They started off the season kind of rough, especially for North Texas standards. But this game is being played in Texas. North
Yeah,
Texas
I was
has
about to
won
say.
5 straight. I think that North Texas has the momentum. They figured their team out. They figured the season out, and then they were going to win this bowl game here.
I agree with you on that. Just because placement of game, like it's going to be like 75% North Texas. If
I
they,
can't believe that North Texas is a 3-point underdog. That shocks me.
yeah,
I would have flipped that line probably. Now, listen, I have not watched a single Miami of Ohio game, but um,
I don't know. Next one's an interesting matchup. The Gaspriella Bowl. Hopefully, I pronounce that right. I think that's a flower. Florida versus UCF.
I'm going Florida here. No Dylan Gabriel UCF is a
Yeah,
UCF that I don't want to take. I
yeah, sure. They were so bad without them. Like I do not want to touch them. I'll get
Plus, I
Florida.
think that UCF has other opt outs as well. I know that Florida's kind of a shit stain right now, but at least Florida has something to prove, right? The guys on the roster right now have something to prove because everyone knows this was a disappointing season for Florida.
Oh yeah, it was.
Um, so I think that you're going to get a Florida game here. These kids want to end the year off on a good note, and honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if Florida comes out here and tries some new shit out. Right? You just fired your coach. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if some new faces are getting into this game. They could give Florida a little bit of spark that they were missing at the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm riding Florida too. Ooh,
Oh
next
shit.
bowl is the Hawaii Bowl, and interesting enough, it's Memphis versus Hawaii.
Yeah, so this is a really weird game because Hawaii, I'm pretty sure, has been playing their home games on like a retrofitted practice field because their regular stadium is like under construction or whatever. Um, Hawaii's a 7.5 point dog, but I'm gonna be taking them against Memphis. This is a Memphis team to me that is a lot worse than Memphis teams of recent. And you're playing this game in fucking Hawaii, so it's a Hawaii home game.
Yeah,
Weird shit happens on the island, so I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna be betting with the island here.
yeah. I'm betting with the island too. I'm taking Hawaii. You don't listen. This is a bowl game too, so you're just adding insult to injury for. It's the island. You don't win on the island. It's weird on the island. So I'm taking Hawaii. Uh, the Camellia Bowl, pretty good game actually. Ball
This
State
is on
versus
Christmas.
yeah, Ball State versus Georgia State. Interesting.
Ball State.
Yeah, I'm going Ball State. I like this team in the MAC.
So yeah, the interesting thing is, I'm pretty sure I had picked Ball State to win the MAC. This is a very good MAC program. They're usually at the top. They had a rough year this year compared to previous years. And I'm going to go with Georgia State. Georgia State's the team that they gave Auburn some trouble, right? They
Yeah,
almost beat Auburn.
should have beat Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with Georgia State.
Okay.
I remember back in the day, I took like I think it was Georgia State to go far in that college basketball March Madness bracket, and they went far. So I'm a low key Georgia State fan. I think that we're winning this one against Ball State.
Okay. Weak. Okay. Quick Lane Bowl. The Western Michigan versus our boys, Nevada.
Yeah, so Carson Strong is opted out of this one, right?
Oh, great. Yeah, probably. I mean, why would he play?
Yeah, so I wrote down here, no Strong, no me. We're going
Yeah.
Western Mich.
Yeah, same. Carson Strong has to play for me to bet on Nevada. It's the only reason why we took Nevada all season.
Well, the other thing too, and I don't know if this guy's opted out. I'm actually going to look it up, but Western Michigan has a quarterback of their own, Caleb Ellaby, who's very good.
Hmm.
I don't see anything from a quick Google search about him opting out. So yeah, I think that you have a clear quarterback advantage in this bowl game for Western Michigan and Nevada without Carson Strong. Sorry, I ain't taking you.
Yeah, I feel that. Shit, there's still so many more.
Yeah, there's still a ton of games. Oh
Military.
wait, shit. Yeah, you gotta bounce. So let's just speed run these.
Okay, yeah. Military Bowl, East Carolina versus Boston College.
BC.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll go BC too. Next one's actually a really good ball game. Birmingham.
I'm
Bowl.
switching that up. I'm going East Carolina.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with BC.
All right.
I'm doing for Matt. Birmingham Bowl. We got number 20 Houston versus Auburn. I'm going Houston.
Yeah, I want to go Houston. I'm gonna go Houston. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there.
I mean, like Auburn lost Bo Nix and Tank, so like, what the
Yeah, the
hell?
thing is that Auburn's defense is what scares me. Auburn's a team that defense just destroyed everyone that they were better than. And I'm scared that that's going to happen here.
Yeah. Oh, this next game should be a fun one. Liberty Bowl. Oh no, I fucking missed a bowl. God damn it. First Responder Bowl. Air Force versus Louisville.
I'm going Louisville. Malik Willis is the best player on the field. I think he can carry them.
I'm going Louisville as well. Liberty Bowl. Texas Tech versus Mississippi State. This is a fun game.
This is the revenge game for Mike Leach, and I'm going Mississippi State. I think that he's going to go fucking ballistic to do everything he can to kick the shit out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, I like that. I'm running the same with Mississippi State.
Like that's a personal game for Mike Leach with what happened to him there.
Yeah, Mississippi State's low-key kind of good too.
Yeah, at the end of the year they're very good. Our
Uh,
boys UCLA against North Carolina State. That's where I'm right.
yeah.
I mean, I'm doing it. UCLA as an underdog. Give it to me.
No Chip Kelly though. Yeah, I've been riding with the UCLA, so I might as well just die with them. I guess I'll take them. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Minnesota versus Western Virginia. West Virginia.
You're taking West Virginia?
Uh, no, I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm also win. We're agreeing on all these. I'm also taking Minnesota. I think that they're just two teams that do a similar thing. I think Minnesota's going to win physically.
We got the Fenway Bowl, Virginia versus SMU.
I'm gonna go Virginia here. Usually I would go SMU, but SMU's top 3 wide receivers are all not playing in this game.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna make a big difference.
I was going Virginia, and I didn't even know that. Now, like, I'm definitely going Virginia.
Because I saw what happened. Ole Miss's one of their 2 losses was when they were missing all three of their top receivers, and it fucked them. So I'm
Yeah.
not doing that again.
Next bowl, we got the Pinstripe Bowl, Vautech versus Maryland. I'm going Vautech. I'm not betting on Maryland.
Yeah, I'm also going Virginia Tech. I'm just not betting on Maryland. Except that's a close one. I think that's a game I can't find on this on DraftKings. I'm looking at who's the underdog there.
I would guess Maryland.
Yeah, I might if I were to bet. I think I'd just put money on the dog. But yeah, I'm gonna take Virginia Tech to win.
Okay. Next game, my favorite bowl, Cheez-It Bowl, number 19 Clemson versus Iowa State.
I'm going Iowa State here.
Oh, okay.
Are you going Clemson?
Yeah, I'm going Clemson. I think Clemson like really hit their niche at the end of the season and figured out a couple of things. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Iowa State, like, you got a lot of seniors that I think want to play for that fucking coach. I think that they're going to show up and try to win it for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now we get to our bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
North Carolina, easy.
All right, I'll take us. I'll take South Carolina. Sneaky win somehow. Sneaky.
Yeah,
win.
it's the Duke's Mayo Bowl. North Carolina versus South Carolina. North versus South. I'm going North Carolina. They're just the better team.
Yeah, they are. But I'll ride with us just to keep us different. Music City Bowl, Tennessee versus Purdue. I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee as well. These are my boys, dude. I fucking love this Tennessee coaching staff.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, we already talked about that bowl. Nice. Ooh, the Sun Bowl, Washington State versus Miami.
I'm taking Miami. Miami hit a new stride. They just fired their coach, but this quarterback they have is legit, and I think he's been carrying them. I think that will continue.
I'm going Washington State. I think this game might be a shootout, and
I do too. What's the over under in this game? 60? Yeah, you right now in DraftKings you get plus 100 on that over. I think I would take the over. I think that both teams are easily scoring 30.
Yeah, I agree. And I just like Washington State to come out. Okay, next bowl, we got the Arizona Bowl, where it involves Central Michigan versus Boise.
I'm going Central Mich.
I'm going Boise State. I'm sorry. I'm not like.
I'm switching. I'm going Boise. I think you're right. What am I fucking thinking?
All right, so we talked about all the New Year's Six. Oh, okay, this last bowl, the Texas Bowl. We got Kansas State versus LSU.
We're going LSU.
Damn, we took. If I took LSU here, I know I'm going to lose. Yeah, I'm going LSU too. Just better talent, even though they probably they lost their quarterback though.
This is a shit show. This is like the shit show game.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like both organizations are kind of going amok. Who? No one knows who the fuck is playing for either team. It's an absolute crapshoot of a bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're supposed to have picks, but Steve, I know you got to bounce. We'll just post the pick as an article on the website. I'll post that up.
I could do it if you could do it in 8 minutes. I could probably rattle it off.
No, it's fine. I'll just post it as an article later today. So, because I also have some crap to do. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Good luck on your bowl pick'ems. We'll go over the result. We're gonna have to wait like a month for the results of all these bowl picks, but
yeah,
we'll update you that and on the over-unders when the season ends for the NFL. So we got a lot of stuff to go back on, MVP picks, all that shit. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching.